Hi everybody, what's brewing? I'm Mike Biana and this is Coffee Talk. Safe, safer, safest. If you had to ask the Coral Gables Police Department what their goal is for you and me, is to keep us safe and even safer than the day before and become the safest city in Miami-Dade County. Here to discuss how technology plays into that safety is Assistant Chief of Police for the Coral Gables Police Department, Michael Miller. Chief Miller, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having us on the show.
Right, let's get right to it. Let's let the cat out of the bag. What we're talking about here is technology and how it helps us with our safety, specifically license plate readers. Now, I want to ask you this because I'm not entirely too familiar with license plate readers.
Sure.
But what are they and what do they do?
So, well, I guess the first thing is to take a little step back, and the commission and the manager's office had asked us to put together a plan to make the city safe and to enhance public safety. One of the things that we wanted to do is change the calculus in the minds of the criminals. Right. We wanted them to understand that it's more likely than not that they're going to get caught if they commit their crimes in Coral Gables. And so we came up with a list of technologies that we could apply to that, and one of them is license plate readers. So we, over the last year or so, we've worked with our contractor to implement a number of license plate readers across the city. We're building a geofence around the city so that we capture traffic coming in and out of the city. What they are is essentially cameras that have character recognition so that they can look at your license plate, and they run that license plate against a hot list that we get from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Sure. And it will tell our officers in real time whether that vehicle is stolen or whether that license plate is stolen or whether that person has a warrant for their arrest.
Wow, that seems like really intricate technology in terms of just being able to pick up the license plates. I can imagine that this is going to lead to incredible lengths of justice in the city. How exactly do they work, and where have you seen that they have already done, made benefits for you and the police department?
So we've had a number of successes already, and I think you can see best these successes when I just tell you some stories.
Sure, I'd love to hear them.
So the first one that came through, I remember hearing our officers get notified of it, and they began to get behind this car. Happened to be a stolen vehicle that was occupied by some teenagers. The teenagers had stolen the vehicle from another city. Our officers got behind it and were able to work with a neighboring city once it moved outside of our city to conduct a traffic stop. The kids took off at a high rate of speed and then wrecked their car about a block or two later. They ran from the car, and our guys and the neighboring department were able to apprehend them. So that was really the first case where I can remember that we had a hit, and at that point in time, we only had one license plate reader that was operational.
And that was the only one that was working?
The only one that was working,
and it
but
already
we were able
did
to,
something.
It already took some bad guys off the street.
By itself, wow.
And these kids had passed for stealing other vehicles, and they had passed for stealing from vehicles, and so yeah, it really helped take them off the street. We had another case recently where a vehicle came into our city that was also stolen. Our officers put it out over the radio for everyone to be on the lookout, and the officers in the area were on the University of Miami campus, and the University of Miami and Coral Gables Police began to look for that. And one of the officers said over the radio that they thought they saw this car go into a parking lot. So our officers converged on that area. They set up surveillance, and they began to look for this car. Well, they did observe the car, and they observed two people that were getting out of the car looking to steal another car from the University of Miami parking lot. And they were able to get in and take those guys down and recover that stolen vehicle and arrest those two guys. And those two guys told us after interview that they were looking to steal another vehicle.
Wow.
So they were caught in the act there with a stolen vehicle looking to steal another one. Sometimes the criminals will do that. They'll go and they'll look for other places to get a new ride if they think that their current car has been compromised.
So, Chief, it's really interesting because, a big mantra we have here is if you see something, say something. And these license plate readers are really helping you to see something, and they're saying something about it.
Absolutely.
And the first story you were telling me about was there was only one license plate readers, and now there's a whole conglomerate of license plate readers. So how do you expect that to help you further down the line, especially now that there's more of them?
So the license plate readers really help in two different ways. One is it gives us immediate alerts. The patrol officers that have their computers in their car are immediately alerted when a stolen vehicle or a stolen license plate comes through, or somebody who has a warrant. That's one way of using it.
I think that's so interesting because obviously the license plate readers themselves aren't going to solve the crimes, but they are certainly helping you and giving you more evidence to help. Now, in terms of other technology that's helping you see things and that are helping you solve crimes, there's also the case of the CCTVs.
Correct.
And what exactly are they? Because we hear CCTVs and we have an idea, but what exactly do they do, and what is their purpose, and how will they help you?
So Coral Gables has a lot of areas, especially in our downtown, where we have a lot of pedestrian traffic. And so we want, as we're going through the streetscape project and we're improving the downtown area for walkability, we're trying to attract pedestrians there and patrons of our many shops and restaurants along that area. We wanted to make sure that they're safe by installing cameras. They're just essentially cameras that are always on, that are always watching. They can be manipulated. Many of them are what they call pan, tilt, zoom cameras. So we can zoom in, we can move them around, we can, if we see some suspicious activity, we can hone in on a particular area or potential individual that we see. And those cameras, there's going to be a number of them that are all along Miracle Mile and all along Giralda. And so we have also, as part of this project, created a crime intelligence center back here at police headquarters.
Okay.
And all of those videos and all of the license plate reads are piped into that location, and they can be analyzed and looked at by an officer or an analyst. So if we get the information that there was a crime on this particular street or along Miracle Mile, we can go back to that period of time. We can review the cameras. We can use additional software on top of that to narrow down the potential suspects, and then maybe apprehend somebody based on a video capture of that individual.
So technology has long been known to be both good and bad, or at least used for good and for bad. What do you hope that they help you accomplish in the future?
Sure. Well, I hope a couple of things. I hope that the criminals think twice before they come to Coral Gables to commit their crimes. So we're hoping just by educating the public and educating the criminals that there are technologies that are in play in Coral Gables, that there's a higher likelihood that they will be caught if they commit crimes in Coral Gables. We want them to know that, and we want them to make a physical choice not to come to our city to commit crimes. We also want to increase our ability to solve crimes. So we want to give tools to the men and women in our police cars and our investigators so that they can be more efficient at doing their job. And so we hope that we're going to be a better department. We're going to be able to solve more crimes when they do happen. Overall, we want this to help us to be a safer city.
Chief Miller, thank you so much for your insight and for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
That'll do it for this edition of Coffee Talk. Once again, that was Assistant Chief of Police Michael Miller. For more information and videos, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/City of Coral Gables and on youtube.com/Coral Gables TV. I'm Mike Biana. Thank you so much for watching, and stay beautiful, Coral Gables.